I've been a libertarian of some kind since the 1990s and a full-blown libertarian, i.e. a voluntarist, for the past 9 years. But I've recently come back to believing that we really can't have a functioning society without a minimal state. Here's one big problem I now have with voluntarism. This philosophy presupposes everyone in our post-governmental society would have a libertarian understanding of non-aggression. The voluntarist assumes we would enjoy broad agreement on the improper use of force. But not everyone has libertarian sympathies, far from it. The hard left, for example. I have a friend, a self-styled progressive, who told me that simply being rich is an act of violence against the poor. Now, certainly we can intervene with force to stop an act of violence, right? If some rich entrepreneur from across town is definitionally violent on account of being wealthy, certainly some intervention is justified, isn't it? My friend, by the way, is a pacifist and would never intervene with force against someone just for being rich. But plenty of people would. Look at the assassination of the United Healthcare CEO and the hard left's reaction to it, which includes moral justification and even cheers for the assassin. They've actually made this murderer into some kind of folk hero. For that reason alone, we can never suppose that a post-governmental society could unify in any meaningful way around a libertarian view of the non-aggression principle. Groups like Antifa and BLM would likely dissent from the libertarians' understanding of non-aggression, permitting violence against those they deem oppressors of some sort. Accordingly, there's a high probability our society would be fundamentally unstable for this and many other reasons. That's a pretty big deal, and voluntarists don't seem to acknowledge it. Now, the initial voluntarist premise is that government is morally objectionable, and I agree with that. But they also argue that because of this, it can never be an acceptable option for society. Now, of course, that was my position for years. I would now argue something different, that setting up a society that is largely undefined, untested, unexplained, and prone to great instability is also morally objectionable. In the end, we're faced with two choices, both morally pernicious choices. It's really just a matter of picking your poison. That said, I no longer pick the voluntarist option as the lesser evil, at least not until I gain a better understanding of how it would probably work. And I'll have more to say about that later.